Street Fighter 6 would be a much better fighting game if Capcom buffed blocking a little bit. Hey guys, MC Mora here, and recently I saw a Twitter clip. I actually think it went pretty viral, which it was like kind of surprising because it's a very standard sequence. So this is a tweet by legendary LCD Sagat period, and as you can see, 370k views. This did the round. So what is the Twitter about? What is the clip about? It's pretty much like standard Sagat sequence, right? Poor Kimberly. She's getting hit. She's getting put into the infinite. Nice uppercut. That was really good. Medium. Sagat is gonna keep knocking on the door until Kimberly decides to act. Nice whiff punish. Damn. Obviously, they had to do it because, but that is actually like a really good level 3 because that's gonna put Sagat in burnout. That actually was like a really good level 3. That was not it, man. Why did you such jump? But yeah, that's pretty much like the clip, right? And this clip is very common. If you play the game online, you have been put into the Sagat Infinite. So before I talk about what I would like to see, let's talk about the situation first and why it's good and how you can counter it. Because if you're online, you're gonna run into that sequence a lot. As the idea is Sagat standing medium punch, the elbow. This is +2 on block and it's a 6 frame start time move. So what makes this really strong is that if Kimberly here decided to challenge with her 4 framer, that is his fastest norm, that is her fastest normal. The second standing medium punch is gonna trade. Sagat is +11 on this trade, so you actually get like a crouching heavy punch as well, which is a lot. But most of the time, what Sagat do is they're gonna go for a crouching medium punch. It's gonna combo on this trade, and then Sagat get like a ton of damage on you. That's 3k, and obviously he got the corner coast to coast almost. This deals massive damage and a ton of corner carry. What makes this situation so powerful is like I showed you, like you can't really, and we saw the clip, we saw Kimberly trying to jump, trying to do a lot of things, but she couldn't. So what is the answer? What could you do? There are multiple things, but I'm gonna show you like the path of least resistance, what you could try to do. So the first thing you could do is simply try to walk backwards. But what's really good about this sequence is that it is an insane frame trap, but Sagat low game is not that good. So Kimberly can walk back and Sagat may try to check, but he's not really gonna be able to convert into a combo, right? So it's like all of that doesn't leave him in range where he can. The only time where Sagat's gonna be able to convert is if it was a drive rush standing medium punch. So if it was like a standing medium punch out of drive rush, then walking back is not an option. But at that point, this is a +6 on block normal, so like you're pinned at this point pretty much. But walking backwards, if it's just like on OK or whatever, that is a solid option. Another thing you could do is try to challenge after the second standing medium punch, because at that point there is enough pushback where the trade is not gonna be it's gonna be that beneficial for Sagat. You're pretty much conceding, okay Sagat, I'm gonna try to challenge, but Sagat really can't do much at that point. So after 2 mediums, if she tried to trade here, she tried to went for a crouching jab. Sagat is +9, but there's so much pushback. Even if Sagat got the clean hit, he's +8, but he can't really do much out of this. If Sagat tried to go for like a slower normal, like a heavy kick, he gets interrupted. A crouching heavy punch, he's gonna get interrupted as well. So this is a pretty good timing to challenge. The thing is, Sagat have to call this out, and the way that Sagat can call this out is pretty much by delaying like his crouching medium punch, so he gotta delay it. But this is very much like a conscious choice, like he's reading you, okay, I know you're gonna try to take back your turn, so I'm gonna delay. But the thing is, because he have to delay this, this opens the door for other stuff, like Kimberly at that point can crouching medium punch, and she can catch him or the delay or standing medium kick. There's a lot of things that she can do at that point. So in the clip, I feel like the Kimberly didn't show the best options against this sort of sequence, but there are some counterplay options. And obviously one thing that they did try in the clip is try to go for a parries, but didn't work out on their favor. But obviously trying to parry is a good idea. Now let's address the elephant in the room. This normal is 6 frame startup, which is really good, but it's only +2 and it doesn't leave Sagat in throw range. He really is like, you can just down back or back, and Sagat doesn't even have like good cancelable low to make this like a super operative situation. So in reality, like, why do people feel like they have to act? Why do people feel like it's suffocating pressure? And a lot of folks seem to think that this standing medium punch is an outlier, it needs to be nerfed, etc, etc, etc. A lot of people feel that this normal alone is very suffocating. And the reason that this normal feels as oppressive as it does is because of the drive ship damage. In reality, what mostly happens is more of like a sequence like that. Like something like this, right? There's a Brilliant micro walk, right? So this is most likely what is gonna happen in a read round. And in a sequence like that, which as you saw, that's a very realistic sequence, what happened is I did drive rush with Sagat, but because I established my pressure and Kimberly was blocking, Sagat's pretty much at like 5 bars of drive, where Kimberly is at 3, right? She lost all of that simply by trying to walk back, by holding back. And that is what makes this sort of sequence that strong. And as you know, in this game, your drive gauge is pretty much your real HP bar, because you can be put into like checkmate scenarios where even if you're blocking, I mean, you get hit and you are eating damage, right? So let's actually go for like a real combo. What is it that they do? I don't know. I don't remember the Sagat combos, but yeah, like pretty much you can be put into checkmate scenarios, right? Even the regular meterless, that is like 27% that is gone, and obviously he can dump meter to go for more damage. And there are a lot of characters with pretty much like burnout loops, and there are characters with like fireball drive rush that pretty much will get in for free and force the wall splat. Characters like Aki, like Terry, like Mai, there are so many of them. Being a burnout feels awful, and obviously all normals have like extra +4 advantage, so this becomes extra suffocating, right? I think with Street Fighter 6, Capcom went for a very intentional design choice of trying to nerf blocking, or in a way they try to balance blocking and parrying. As the idea here is that sure, I mean, if you're blocking all of that, you are losing on drive gauge, but if you happen to do parries, right, if you went for a drive parry, I mean, Kimberly is now swimming in drive, right? She's now got a full drive gauge. And that is a philosophy, right? They want to give you incentive to parry, because by parrying, you are reserving your drive gauge. But here's the thing, parrying carries some risk. Because if you try to parry, you can get PC grabbed, and this punish counter grab will deal more damage, and it denies you the back rise. So a regular grab, she's able to back rise, so Sagat can't really follow up afterwards, but on a back rise, he will get like a drive rush Oki. So like this is a much more real of a situation because you are closer to him. And the thing about parrying is that parrying also widen your hurt box, so you are more susceptible to throws, right? The idea is after one medium punch, he's not in throw range, but if you're trying to parry, after one medium punch, he is in throw range, right? So essentially what happens is that blocking is supposed to be like the safe option, but you're pretty much trading your safety with losing drive gauge. And the thing about this game is that drive gauge is your real HP bar. So people, when they're blocking anything, it sometimes feel like blocking is the worst possible choice. Like if I try to mash, I may get hit, I will get corner carried, but I'm regaining drive. If I try to parry, maybe it will work out sometimes and get the perfect parry, maybe not. It feels like you're being put into a guessing situation, right? There is no take the throw. Like back in Street Fighter 5, for example, like you just held back, you took the throw, and now we reset to neutral, and that was it. This is not an option in this game because you either challenge and risk losing HP bar, you either try to parry and risk losing drive gauge and getting punch countered, or you just take it and risk being put into burnout, which that is very strong. And additionally, what makes this sort of sequence much stronger is the fact that the aggressor is gaining drive where the defender is losing drive. Like for example, like I showed you, like if they're just blocking, if say he did something like this, more on line of this, right? So Sagat spends a bar, but he is gaining drive as I'm blocking. And just if we put ourselves in the corner and Sagat is attacking, he is gaining drive, where the defender is losing drive. Obviously, like you hit him, you gain bar, you block, you lose bar, right? So it's a double loss where I'm losing and they're gaining, and now if I try to like drive reversal, I get put in burnout. If I try an invincible reversal, I get put in burnout. So it makes blocking feel like a really bad option. So Mura, what do you want? Why are you talking about all of this? I think the issue here is that essentially blocking becomes like a really bad option because you are forced to guess, right? And what I would like to see is for blocking to be a little bit better. And how do you do that? Well, I think they should reduce the amount of drive damage that you lose for blocking. I think that's it. I think a move like just being in the neutral and having to block a sequence like that, I don't think you should be losing like most of your resources for simply like blocking a sequence like that, especially because in this game, because of drive rush, it's very easy for the aggressor to establish this sort of situation, right? It's not that hard for the aggressor because of drive rush, raw drive rush, crouching medium kick, drive rush, etc. It is easy for the aggressor to force the issue. So what I would like to propose is to reduce the drive ship on normals. On special moves, I think it's fine. Like I think on special moves, I think we should still have ship on them, high ship, but on normals, and this obviously can be adjusted based on the normal itself. Like something like Alex charged heavy punch, this is slow enough to the point where, you know what, I get it, I get why this does a ton of drive ship, because this is slow, this can be easily parried. But something like Sagat standing medium punch, where it can feel like that suffocating, I feel like maybe reduce the drive ship a little bit. And hey, if Sagat is gaining bar and Kimberly is losing a little bit, or at least locked out of regaining, I think that's still like very beneficial to Sagat, because like I said, although he's like drive rushing, he is gaining drive gauge in this instance. Like he is regaining drive and she's losing. So it's like a double loss. So make it so that at least Kimberly will be at like 2.5 bars at the sequence. That way people will not feel like they're forced to act so much. I know that this is probably against like the entire design philosophy of Street Fighter 6, and people would say, but Mura, what would be the point of parries? Why would parries be relevant then? If I could just block everything, I think parries would still be good because perfect parry can turn the table. You are gaining meter for parries. Like you're just not losing as much for blocking, but you are gaining for parries, which is important. And obviously parries negate the low-high mix because you have to block down back, you have to block back for overheads, etc. So it negates the mix, you are gaining meter, you are gaining the potential of getting the perfect parry and turning the table. So I think parries are already like really good. So I think we need to buff blocking a little bit so that it would at least make the game a little bit more stable. Like we've seen so many situations where people get put in burnout, and if it is harder for people to be in burnout, I would be more accepting of the insane ship sequences, checkmate scenarios, because hey, they had to work to put me in burnout. But burnout, putting the opponent in burnout comes very easy as it is right now, and unfortunately I think most of it is because blocking is really bad. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Would you like to see blocking buffed a little bit? Would you like the status quo to remain as it is? I would love to hear your thoughts all about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.